Hey there, everybody. This is CCB Dolan here with CCB Rise, bringing you the 9th match of Day 2 of the NEO2. And today we've got our very first losers bracket match, the Freeloaders in red versus Facebook Alliance in blue. This tournament's a double elimination tournament, so whoever loses this is going home, unfortunately. Why don't you tell us a little bit about the setup they brought?
Yep, so for the Freeloaders, they've brought a Golem. Another attempt at the Golem. We haven't seen a Golem get through, well, we've seen him get through a match, but not win a match yet, so have to see if that happens. And alongside that, a Claymore, a Scythe, which is the Tech 1 Cruiser Logistics, 3 Jaguars, Saber Thrasher, and then for Facebook Alliance, 2 Abaddons, a Proteus, an Execure, NEO, and 3 Tristans. So very, very unique setups for both teams.
2 Abaddons.
2 Abaddons. Did I say 3?
Yes. But
Pretty sure there's 2.
So the thing that has to happen here is these Jaguars have to kill these Tristans. They have to just wipe the entire support wing and let the Golem work on those Abaddons.
Ouch. Tracking disruptors coming from the Freeloader side onto the Abaddons. That's pretty bad news. The range is already going to be fairly limited on the Abaddons. They're very, very slow, of course. They have okay range because of Scorch, but it's not great. And with tracking disruptors, it's going to be even worse. So we're going to see if they're able to get really any damage on anything. A lot of the Freeloaders team can probably just avoid them.
Yep.
And should be, in good shape for the most part.
A ton of armor bots here on this Executor for Facebook Alliance, but he's slowly taking damage as he goes. He's going to have to eventually... Where's he catching reps from?
All those rep drones.
No, rep drones don't show the rep effect in the bar here. Is the Proteus repping here?
Definitely could be.
But you can't have cap transfers on an Executor.
Yeah, you can see right there the Proteus just off to the left sending reps. You're absolutely right. So it's a logistics Proteus, which makes that kind of a bait Executor, right?
No, but Executor has the remote tracking booster bonus?
No.
What's it? No, it has some other bonus for something you can fit. Look it up quickly.
I'm going to do it.
Look down.
No, it's...
Nope. I guess it doesn't.
Nope, nope. So it's just for bait, I guess. I mean, it's kind of strange. It's not some kind of tinker. I mean, there's no cap transfers. I don't know why you would have an Executor. It's actually not a bad cruiser because it has decent drone capacity. So
decent drone capacity, bonus to drone rep amount.
It's one of the more offensive logistics ships, but it's still a pretty strange choice. And I'm sure by now they've noticed that the Proteus is a repping ship. So
they still have only tackled the Executor, not the Proteus.
And now Facebook has managed to kill a Jaguar. Yep. Very odd match.
Now
like,
they've realized it.
Just switching over to the Proteus now, see how well he can tank on his own. That's so odd. I really don't know why they would choose next year, other than if they just felt like they could waste a bunch of time early in the match this way.
It has a lot of mids, has a drone bay, remote boosting of some sort in those.
In the meantime, that Scythe has been damped, probably forced pretty close to the fight. It's not tackled, but it is taking a fairly significant amount of damage.
Yeah, and there's all its armor. It was a shield tank. It's of course going to blow through its armor in just a few seconds there. Like, this Proteus needs to go down right now.
It's so odd to me. It's possible that the Scythe is getting killed by Frigs, but otherwise I don't know why it would be close enough. I guess I mean, obviously it would have had to come in close to rep, but does it really need to be repping? I guess to try and save the Jaguars and Sabers.
But it goes down, and now the Proteus is repping back up. It has obviously will have a strong local
they
rep.
are doing a good job on the Proteus.
So that's one of the things that you can do with the Proteus is you can figure a strong local rep, but he can't be cap transferred to because cap transfers are banned in the NEO2.
And you can see he's being neuted by the Golem, and probably just by the Golem, actually. So eventually, that tank probably will break. I mean, they are losing some of their damage now by losing the Jaguars and the Saber. The Golem will continue to kind of pound away at him, but that might actually not be enough. He may be able to just tank the Golem.
Yeah, he's going to be able to tank this out. Like, Facebook Alliance is going to completely take this clean. The Proteus has reps, has local reps. In addition to the drones, the logistics drones all over him. Like, strong drone bays on this team here. And then there's really nothing that Freeloaders can do at this point. They spent too long shooting the Executor. They can't break the Proteus now that they've lost a bunch of Jaguars. They're in a lot of trouble here.
They definitely are. I don't know how well Facebook will do breaking the Golem. They may just not have to, which is kind of what we've seen some other times when the Golems lose, is they do a good job lasting for a really long time, but then that doesn't really do anything because they can't get any kills. It's still, I mean, if he was able to kill the Proteus here, which is still close to happening, that could swing the match. I mean, it's not too late, actually, for Freeloaders to Because the golem can go so long. They still have 6
Yeah.
minutes. It'd be pretty hard for them to break the golem, especially since it can just MGD away from the Abaddons and kind of shoot from wherever it wants, and they'll never be able to hit him.
But so for instance, right now nothing's tackling the Proteus. The Proteus is just slow butting around. It's got good transversal. Well,
Yeah.
it doesn't matter transversal against the Golem, and it's going to be getting hit by cruises. And the Golem has the tracking paint around there, so it'll be applying decent damage. It's just whether the rep can hold.
The last bit of support is now dead for Freeloaders, so it's just the golem and the Claymore. I assume they'll go for the Claymore next. It's probably pretty unlikely they'll break the golem in this match. Like I said, they won't be able to catch it. I don't think he can just leave. I mean, he could get scrammed by an NEO and then just sit there, but he's got an enormous tank as well. It doesn't look like he's going to be able to break that Proteus.
No, I don't think so. I think that they spent just as much time trying to figure out what was going on as we did at the beginning of this match.
It is really odd. I mean, we're probably missing something big or obvious.
I suspect it's the bonus to logistic drones on the Executor, in addition to all the mids. It can fit like a lot of EOR in those mids or anti-EOR in the mids, and just chill there for a long time. I
mean, yeah, I don't know.
It's not a ton of points. It's not an Oneros. Like, it still has a lot of utility there.
Yeah, I don't know. I feel like most of the value would have to come from the bait, from the fact that they would go for that first. But I don't know what you really gain here by doing that. I mean, they should notice very quickly. In the meantime, I don't know what they're really accomplishing. Like, just having an Oneros tank for that time probably would have gone basically the same. I don't know. It worked out well, though, in this case. They were able to, like you said, take apart that support wing while they were trying to figure out what to do. I guess if they would have started on the Proteus, they would have broken it, potentially, while there was more ships up.
Yeah, they definitely would have broken it. It came so close to breaking with almost nothing on the field. If they had shot it first, it would have done really well.
Yeah. Anyway, not much probably going to happen from now on. This is the big problem with Abaddons. It's actually kind of what surprised me about how this match went. I don't know why Freeloaders ever really got close, because at this point, it's very hard for them to do anything to get their damage to their targets. Both the Claymore and the Golem have moved far away from the center of the arena, and the Abaddons just can't get to them.
So I just saw something that was entertaining, and while we're waiting for this match to wait out right now, if you look in the bottom right, where you can see our tactical view, it looks like the Golem is gigantic. It's just like, you know, like a 20-kilometer long Golem. That's some excellent perspective there.
But what that does show also is what I was just saying. He's very far away from everything, and it's pretty funny that Abaddons actually win this match. We've seen them. There's been tournaments in the past where both Abaddons and Apocalypses were attractive. People would bring both because they do a lot of damage, and they're very tanky, and they can shoot relatively far with short-range guns. So they do put out good damage if there's something you can hit, but they're really easy to manipulate. Tracking disruptors are really bad for them. Dampeners are really bad for them. And they can't move at all. So over the course of a match, all your opponent has to do is leave, and there's really not a lot you can do about it. I guess now you can put MJDs on them. That helps quite a bit. But in this case, the Golem can MJD more often.
Like, it just seems to me like the Facebook Alliance setup here was built to tank. Like, it's built, the Proteus tanks really well, Executor with logistics drones. Who's shooting fireworks?
Wait.
So someone just alerted us to the fact that fireworks were being shot here, but I can't see it on the screen there. So like, it's built to tank. The Proteus has a really strong local tank in addition to the rep drones they can get from the Proteus or the Executor. Drones on the Abaddons can fit logistics drones there as well. If they try and shoot the Abaddons, they have the resistance bonus, going to tank forever, unkillable.
Right.
NEO, relatively tanky for a frigate, and then Tristan's as just filler points.
Yeah, that's true. I mean, they did manage to catch the Claymore and kill it, by the way, which is pretty good stuff. There's no way they'll break the Golem in these 2 minutes unless something really weird happens, but that's fine. They're going to get through the match, of course, anyway. You are right. Like, it's a relatively tanky setup. The Tristans should get killed pretty easily. The NEO should get killed. I wonder how weak the Proteus is. It seemed like even though they got the DPS moved to the Proteus kind of late in this match, that they still almost broke it, which means that might be a pretty weak point in the setup. Usually that's like in the old kind of more turtle-y setups, the things we call tinkers, you could have a very strong tank on that ship as well because of being able to cap transfer to it. But since you can't in this format, that might be the weak point. It would be interesting to see these guys fight against kind of a standard Slipner team.
I think the Executor would just instantly evaporate, and then the Proteus would also evaporate, and then the
Possibly.
Abaddons would just.
It's true that
They'd
their
lose
opponents
one.
in this match have pretty low overall DPS.
Yeah.
Golem's fine, but the rest of their DPS is coming from a Claymore and 3 Jaguars, basically. I mean, the Saber and the Thrasher are some damage too, but they get killed so easily that in reality, there's just not a lot of damage here for the Freeloaders team.
The Freeloaders team is also very tanky. Jaguar's relatively tanky. Like, you can do a lot with them, but they're just not the core DPS of your team. This is the thing. It's like
There's the fireworks.
Oh yeah, there we go. Who's shooting fireworks?
Someone on Facebook is.
Okay. But I guess they just had some missile launchers and they had some fireworks in the hole, so everything worked out great. So they're working on this golem here, but with 10 seconds left in the match, that's going to be a fine match for us. Facebook Alliance continuing on. Freeloaders getting knocked out on day 2. That's going to be Greygall out of the tournament. Agony and some of their friends. It's long story tournament history, but not doing too great in the New Eden Open too.
No, the first team to leave.
Alrighty.
So we'll go watch an ad or two and see you guys in a second.